Hi, Roxy. Hi, Nick. Thank you ever so much for coming to share your story, your journey, and the project. This amazing space you've got. And what people can't see is there's a river also flowing behind you both. But can you cast your minds back to when this space was a mere figment of your imagination, and tell us what you were trying to achieve?
Yeah, so we did a knockdown rebuild, so it really was, to start with, a figment of the imagination. And I think we knew from the start we were going to have a very modern, sort of clean, minimalist looking build. So for me, the interior, the blinds were going to be really important. I knew I didn't want curtains, and I knew that I really didn't want too much, I guess, material on the outside of the window, because as you said, we live by the river, and it's very obviously beautiful views, so we didn't want to obstruct it. So I started investigating how we could achieve that look, and knew that I wanted some form of integrated blinds.
Right, so you wanted minimalism as well as a great wall of glass you've got to provide that beautiful view.
Absolutely, yes.
And you've certainly you've achieved that. So what options did you look at? You said you didn't want to look at curtains, you were looking at blinds. So can you take us through that journey as well, how you came about contacting WindowTreat and looking at the different options?
Yes, so Nick's laughing because the first option, which is where I tend to go, is always the most expensive option, and then we try and work back from there to something that would then fit our budget. So I did investigate properly integrated blind box blinds, because we had the opportunity to do that, obviously building from scratch. But I think really for our budget it was just too expensive. So we then went on the hunt to find something that would achieve a really similar look that, you know, blended into the frame of the window, but that was in our budget. And it was actually Nick that found WindowTreat.
So we went and visited a few companies. We went to their showrooms, which was nice, and we went through it, and then they sent us over the quotes, and they joked in some of those meetings it was going to cost more than the glazing, and then they sent through the quotes, and it was the first quote was about 10,000 more than all of our glazing, and that was just for the blinds that you'll see, the same blinds we got for you guys, and yeah, so Roxy started looking hard for other places, and I think you come up quite well on Google, I think. And then I started actually watching these videos, and I rang, I think it was Chris. I rang up and I liked him. He's very straightforward, very straight talking. We did a similar kind of meeting, and then he said, okay, well, if you're not into that option, because I think you sell the same thing we got quoted at, and we did actually get a quote from you guys, which was much better value, but still above what we could afford. He said, well, we can work with you in terms of color matching the blinds to the window frames. And what we can do is we can send down the fitter before I think it might have been before we purchased it, if he's in the area. So I was heavily involved in the build. So I was here and he came, and then we discussed options so the blinds on the glazing behind us are actually set below the level of the plasterboard. And I managed to remove some material before, so the whole blind box sits up, and so there's only about sort of 10 or 20 mil of it actually showing, so it actually looks pretty similar to the sliding doors. And yeah, the guy Martin was excellent throughout, and he's been back a few times to work with us and actually do the installation.
Well, fantastic. And I can't actually see much of the blinds at the moment. You've concealed them so well, they've been hidden away. So and you're right, the color matching really does, a dark color makes blinds less conspicuous, so you've achieved a really great result there. I think it's probably a good time actually, because I sense that our customers are going to be really curious to see what you're talking about. Would you? I know we're going to do this at the end, but let's do it right now.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll do all three. It's actually, I mean, not to big up too much, but it's super simple to use. So that's all three blinds coming down.
And you can, if you want like partial coverage, if you know it's a really sunny day and you just want a bit of extra coverage rather than for the privacy, you can stop them halfway. Or the door that's right on this side here from me, that's our sort of door that opens. So if we wanted just that blind, we can also make just that blind go up. So maybe you can show that one.
Just because I like controllers, although we end up with a new house, you end up with millions of controllers. So most controllers we've managed to get rid of. These
there you
ones.
go, that's the one behind you. Though.
Oh, there we go.
But I'm a bit sort of tech shy, so I was a bit worried about would I be able to, you know, easily make the blinds work and it not be too technical. And also if we've got guests over or people staying, I wanted them to, as you know, not be frightened of using the blinds either. And it is so simple. It is literally an up or a down button, and you can select blind 1, 2, or 3. So if I can use it, definitely anyone can use it for sure.
Well, thank you. And there's many customers that will just want simplicity with the solution. So this space here, is this your living area?
Yes, this is our main kitchen living area, and as you mentioned, we're right on the river. So from a privacy point of view, you know, sometimes just in the evenings like this, it's nice just to have the blinds down just to make it cozy. But then also it's nice sometimes there's a tow path on the other side, so people walk past. So if we want a bit of privacy, if we've got people over, we can, you know, put the privacy blind down as well.
Yeah. And what was the key moment where you decided to go with Chris's recommendation and WindowTreat?
I think, I mean, obviously building a house, we dealt with an awful lot of contractors, and we had a lot of conversations. And, you know, you obviously, of the 10 contractors you talk to, then you obviously normally employ one. I like I said, I like how straightforward he was. I don't like, some people promise the earth and then can't deliver, or then retract back from that. Some people say that you can have everything you want and then that doesn't exist, or the price is so astronomically high, even though you've told them the budget, that it's not going to work. And especially when you're doing that across and building an entire house, that's really important to have kind of clear, honest pricing conversations and realism brought into it. And it was absolutely that. He was quick to respond. He worked with us really well in terms of timing. We had some issues. The sliding doors you're seeing is our 4th version of the sliding doors. They got replaced. They were the wrong size twice, then the wrong color once, and then something else happened. So it meant that the blinds obviously
had to get delayed.
Yeah, they got delayed because the windows had to be installed before the blinds, because it would tell us where the gap would be. And Chris, the company, were really good at working with us out on that, and we just communicated timelines. And then when we were ready, they came in and fitted them basically. And beyond that, we haven't really had any problems. So
I think for me as well, like, it's always Nick's concern was always around like the actual functionality and how it worked with the build, and then the budget. And then mine was always the final aesthetic. So for me, the fact that it ticked both of our boxes, and having seen some of these other testimonial videos and looking at the quality of the product and the final finish and how almost exactly close it was to the original look that I wanted with the fully built-in blinds, I was actually so surprised with the finished result. Even you know, once they were done, and having seen some of the videos, once they're actually installed in your home, I still to this day, you know, pinch myself that we've managed to get the finish that we have for the budget that we had.
Well, it's wonderful use. And of course, you've got your bedroom as well, where you've invested in electric blinds through WindowTreat, again, working with Chris and the installation team too. So tell us what you're trying to do in there.
Yeah, so in our bedroom, we wanted fully blackout blinds, and you know, Chris talked us through the options of also having the side channels, so that you achieve that full blacked out look. We've got a couple of windows in the bedroom that have got WindowTreat blinds, and then which we'll show you in a minute, but we also wanted the same privacy. So our bedroom is actually just alongside our living area, and also looks onto the river, and we've got a projected window seat. So in order to be able to sit there and enjoy the view from our bed, we wanted to have a privacy blind as well, so that, you know, when you're having those Sunday morning cup of coffee looking out onto the river, but actually people can't see in from the other side. So it gave us not only privacy, but a full blackout solution as well. So it's actually done on like a double roller. And again, we were able to work with Chris and the installation team on how that would work as part of our build.
Excellent. So has it delivered everything you expected?
It's funny because doing this is interesting because there's so many different contractors that the answer would probably be no. Like there's always a bit where you're like, we could have done that a little bit better, or they didn't quite finish it in the way we wanted. Whereas I think this is one of the very few. I wouldn't say if it wasn't true that actually in every respect, I can't think of a way that this could have been better for us in terms of the way it was installed, the way it works, how we use it. So we've even got in our bedroom, because you go through the back of our bedroom to a walk-in wardrobe, and from that you go into an ensuite. So you think about like the journey is, if you go for a shower in the morning, you have a shower, then you're in the walk-in wardrobe, and then you're back into the bedroom. You're not always necessarily fully clothed in the bedroom, and if you've got all the blinds up, then people from the river could probably just see in. So Chris suggested we have a button in the walk-in wardrobe that if you've forgotten to put the blinds down and you're in the bedroom, rather than darting around trying to hide, just in case someone sees in, we've got a button in the walk-in wardrobe. We press that button, both blackout blinds go down. Then you can obviously walk around in privacy, and you put the blinds back up when you've finished. So even things like that are really smart, simple solutions to a problem, and we hadn't thought about that problem. So stuff like that, I think it's been really good.
Yeah. And the installation team as well were immaculate. Again, having worked with a number of different contractors, you know, they came in, and by that point, you know, we were painted, and, you know, we had soft furnishings in, and they, you know, laid down cloths, and they hoovered up after themselves, and
took off their shoes, in and out.
Exactly. And again, it's like little things like that you probably don't think of before signing up for something like this. But actually, if you've worked with a number of other contractors, you realize how important it is, you know, that respect of your home, and they were fantastic. So it's great.
Oh, they'll be delighted to hear the feedback. And yeah, so you met Henry the Hoover trying to catch the dust before it hits the ground.
Exactly. Yes, you just have to make sure you give Martin lots of cups of teas with
I think
it's 8 sugars or something like that. But whatever, the sugar is working because he's brilliant.
Yeah, he takes 4 sugars in his tea, I think.
There you go.
That's it. So it's more than most.
Yeah. So I've got just two questions left, really. And the first one's the $1 million question. Would you recommend WindowTreat to friends and family?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I absolutely would. It's been, end to end, a brilliant process. And I have to say, for the quality and level of craftsmanship, absolutely worth every penny.
Well, that's music to my ears.
It is. So this is our window seat, where, you know, we've got, normally when it's not dark, a beautiful view of the river. So if we want just the privacy blind down, we've got that on one roll. And then if you want the blackout blind, we've also got the blackout blind. And then you can see, I'm not sure if you can see, but the channels here are what make it fully blacked out.
And so when it's a bright, you know, sunshiny morning, do you get any light ingress around those through the side channels?
Not at all, actually. And the very base of the blind here as well has got almost like a sort of soft felt little brush. So you don't even get any light spillage from the bottom either. So it is like sleeping in a hotel room. It is pitch black. Fantastic.
Well, congratulations on creating this dream, making this dream come true, and this wonderful space. It's a difficult thing to achieve. It's a lot of work, and other customers are sort of starting out on their journey, and I think they'll be inspired.
Oh, well, thank you so much, and thank you to Chris and to Martin and everyone that helped us over at WindowTreat, because yeah, it's really made the finishing touch to our project. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.